Good afternoon, traders. Today is March 20th, and it is options expiration day. It's noon, and let's take a look at the markets. As you can see behind me, we have a chart of the different indexes and futures as well. Over here on my top right, as I'm learning, we have the Russell, the NASDAQ, and the Dow, as well as the S&P. And you can see they've all kind of found some sort of support. The S&P is in the worst shape of them all. I don't like that it's found lower lows, as well as the NASDAQ, whereas the Dow and the Russell have kind of steadied out where they found not quite a double bottom, but it's possible. It does look like a head and shoulders, though, if you're looking at the Russell. If we look over to here, and you can see um, that way on the screen, you could see crypto on the top. Also, it's kind of found a bottom. It's holding that 69,500 level on Bitcoin. Solana is holding that 89 level pretty close. So I'd like to see it rebound from here, but this does look like it's trying to set a floor. Now, don't forget today is options expiration day, so it's pushing prices around just to clear out the options. The metals all are kind of fluctuating. Gold and silver are both down. However, platinum is up, but not up by much. So again, you can see they've found a floor. Gold around 4,500, and gold here 4,500, and then you've got platinum is a little bit below 1950. I would say their floor is or so, and it's at around 1960 now. Silver's at 69.50. I think its floor is closer to around 68.43. The euro as well is down, but not by much. It's recovered some. It hit a low of around 1.15, and it's getting closer back to that 1.16 level. Crude oil is back at the $96 level. It's been bouncing around from the 100 down to the 90s, and it's sort of mid-level right now. Natural gas is hovering at around $3. So I don't know about those. What I could see is that the tick is starting to rebound. It's in the afternoon, and I would expect that later in the day you'll start to see some sort of bounce possibly. The VIX is starting to settle. It's coming down. It's still elevated, though, at 25. Let's take a look at some more of the indexes a little bit closer. So we're going to take a look over here, and you can see we have the different sectors, and most of them are in pretty bad shape. Energy is doing well, it's advancing, but otherwise, everything else has been pulling back. That doesn't mean it's the end of the story, though. As you can see, there are some possibilities maybe where there are leveling off. XLK, for example, which is a technology ETF, that one does sort of look like it's holding that level over here of around 136. So I'd like to see it hold that level. If it can hold that, then I'll see. Then I would like to see a rebound from there. Let's take a look at the currencies real quick. And so in our currencies, we can see that basically everything is down except for the Swiss franc. The Swiss franc is actually up just slightly. Um, Again, you look at the euro; it's coming back. It's doing pretty well. It hit a low the other day of like around March 15th of 1.14, and it's been recovering ever since. Especially since the 19th. Look at that pop. The other currencies haven't been rebounding quite as well. I was looking for the Brazilian real to recover, and so I think it does have possibility. The yen as well should recover. I could see this heartbeat setting the range. So with the yen, you want to buy somewhere down here and sell somewhere up here. That would be your best bet. So with the yen, you're going to look at an entry of around 0.00631, and your exit is around 636. Likewise, you could look for entries again in the South African rand, the Brazilian real. Should also have some entry around where we are, actually. I think on the Brazilian real is possible. And I think Bitcoin looks like, if it can hold this 70,000 level, it'll be great. We did, fall on the hourly below the 200 line, but 70,000 does look great. Let's take a look at some of my watch list here. And we can take a look at the watch list by percentage change today. AAOI, it really bottomed. It's down 9%, or more than 9% actually, under $92. Light is down 7.5%. COHR. Mosaic. Now I'm surprised. Mosaic's down 6.6%. I like Mosaic. It's been on a downtrend. It's only at 13% of its annual range in the last 52. It has very slow momentum, but good potential for rebounding here. And I would like to see you buy it around here and exit around 27 or so. It's trading at 24 right now. Vistra Energy, that's also on my watch list. It's about 50% of its weekly range. It's going sideways, but it does have some potential to move. I definitely see around 6-7% gain here. It might be a good buy. DY, I'm surprised it had a big shock of a move down. Down 6%. It had a rating from Seeking Alpha as a buy, and so I would expect this to turn around, but you want to be a little bit cautious, but I like it. I think it's interesting. Constellation Energy Group, also, it's looking pretty good. ONDS, that's also been a long hold favorite. I think it's interesting. EWY, the Korean ETF, I'm pretty interested in that, holding that long term. It's been having quite a run, so I'm not surprised it's letting off some pressure today. You could see this one, CIEN, has a great run. It's all green basically across my board. It has mild potential for growth. The 24 delta is actually 28% far away. That's a good amount. I like that. That would be an interesting buy. You can go down this list some more, and then we can take a look at some of these charts as we go through them. Corning, I like the idea of Corning as a company. I think that Corning is a good company for a long-term hold. FN, again, is an interesting buy. Micron is an interesting buy. Bloom Energy, look at all these greens. I love these greens. These are long-term trend greens, wonderful buys when on any sort of pullback. Alcoa Energy, that's been beat up real bad. I think that has potential for a turnaround, and I think Alcoa aluminum, it's needed. You need it for manufacturing and replacing a lot of the weapons that were used in the war. I think it has good potential. You could see, we can keep going down this list. Some other highlights to point out might be Meta's under 600. What a great buy, under 600. It might continue down, but if you're long-term Meta, I think it's an interesting area to buy. ERII as a long-term hold. They do the components for pulling out water from the air, I believe, or some components for saltwater purification. Actually, that's what it is. It's on an oversold level. It's strongly negative. I think it has potential for turnaround long term. I would hold it. ASTS, it's only down 1% today. It's low on the year, and I think it has a good potential for continuation for a long term. AMD, great company. Intel, great company. GE Vernova, definitely going to be continuing to go. things like Broadcom, you know, also it's just a favorite on a long-term hold. I I have some shares of Lilly, and you can see here it's on my watch list. But this is not necessarily a short-term hold. I think this is a long-term hold, and you have to be a little bit cautious with Lilly because it is such an expensive stock. So unless you're buying a part of the share, which you can do in some holdings like Robinhood, buying a whole share of that and then watching it go down, watching your account go down 3, 4, 5%, it just hurts. But it is a percentage, so you know you take it all in stride. I mean, if you had AAOI and it went down 10%, it's a big hit. It's definitely a big hit. So let's see if I have any other charts to take a look at, any other watch lists. So on my 1, 2, 3 watch list today, GE Vernova is coming up, AA is coming up. These are Archer Daniel Midland is coming up, Duke Energy, Micron. All of these have definitely potential for continuation. Let's pull up a chart. So here you can see we can take a look at Lilly. Lilly has fallen below this level, which I had marked out. It's at a sort of support level on the chart, but it's still on the 4-hour pointing downward. So it looks like it has support here, but until it turns around, I wouldn't say I would recommend it necessarily for a buy. I like to be a little bit more conservative and buy things on the uptrend rather than on the downtrend as far as a recommendation. Let's take a look at Freeport-McMoRan, because this is one of those ones where I would recommend buying it, even though it is on somewhat of a downtrend. Copper is needed. So you can see, let's zoom out here on the weekly, and copper has been following this trend. It ran all the way up to 70, and now it's pulled back into the 52 range. I think this is an excellent opportunity at 50. Buy copper, hope for it to go long, but it's not much of a hope. It's going to go long. We don't have enough copper, and all of the new technology for the robotics that are required in the new factories and the electronic vehicles and motors that we expect with robotics, they're going to require miles and miles of copper wire winding in motors and electronics. So copper is in demand. I only expect this to go up. Let's take a look at Dycom just to see how it's been doing. Look at that trajectory. It's crazy. It's pulled all the way back to support 333 here. I think this is an interesting place to buy. We're looking at weekly chart here, so this is great long-term buy. Let's look at Alcoa. Again, Alcoa, we need aluminum. It's just as simple as that. A lot of the products that we use today are all made from aluminum. It's pulled back. It's been bouncing around this level here. You can see between this 56 and 66. So you can play that between those levels. Buy down here around 56, 57. Sell it when it gets to about 64. Let's take a look at Sienna Corp. What a rise. This has been just an astronomical ride, and this would be something that I would look at more on a cautionary basis and take a look right up here on the top of the week. We're all the way up here. There is the potential for it to pull back to 360, I think, for support, possibly even 325 before it continues going all the way back up to the moon, as they would say. Let's see. Let's take a look at gold. So this is the weekly on gold, and you can see based on this pullback, it's dropped all the way past this volume level. It traversed the volume area gap all the way down to the bottom of this value area, and it's holding now over here at about the 38.2% level on the Fibonacci. Seems like a good enough support to me. Long term, look at this trend. I think it's good. Let's look for a little bit of a rebound, and I would recommend buying gold. Let's take a look at silver. Let's take a look at the other silver. And again, silver has been playing a little bit of a catch-up game with gold, and it's been doing the same thing. You can see it has a nice little sort of double bottom here, but the last bottom wick is still higher than this wick, so that means higher lows, which is a good thing, although the highs have not been as high. So you can see we're forming some sort of flag, and there is the potential from here then to bounce up. Again, silver is needed in commercial application. So I would imagine unless we see a major economic slowdown, we will need silver. Let's take a look at platinum. Platinum's chart looks very similar to silver. It is also used industrial. And let's take a look at South Korea, EWY. Wow, look at that chart. South Korea is off the hook, and for good reason. A lot of the technology that we need and we use is coming from South Korea, especially with AI and automation, robotics. They just have a lot of innovation there, and I can see this continuing on and upward from here. There is the concern about China and them trying to take over Taiwan, but I think after this Iran war, China's going to think twice about starting something new, although you never know. So again, with any investment, invest with caution. Let's take a look at GE Vernova. It's a great company. It's a little on the high side, not going to lie, where you're buying a top, but I think anywhere in this range, I would prefer to be down here, but they are going to have to resupply, and I think it's a great company. Let's take a look at Corning. You know, they make glass. It's used in the phones. It's used in so many pieces of technology these days. I can only see them going further in advancement. And I think we're at an interesting level here. You can see the Fibonacci at level at 123.5, and we're at 128.5 right now on the weekly. So I think any sort of pullback here is a wonderful opportunity for you to get long on Corning. Let's take a look at the cybersecurity ETF called Hack. I've been looking at some ETFs lately, namely one of them is this Hack. I like the idea of cybersecurity. I think we've got a nice long-term trend. Better buy at around 72, but even at 75, still a good buy. Let's take a look at another one, PPA. This is an aerospace and defense ETF. We've pulled back to this level of support down here at 170. I think this is a great buy, long-term hold, and it's been doing pretty good. These ETFs make it really easy for you to get a hold of a whole bunch of different options and shares and not have to worry about managing the individual positions. Vistra Corp is also on a nice trajectory. It has nice support here at 155, and I think that we have a good long-term direction on Vistra, even though we do have a significant pullback today. So one option is to wait and to see how that pullback levels off, but it's possible that we continue. There's no clear direction that this is on a full uptrend reversal. I'd like to see these outer channels on an uptrend, and that would give me a better indication of that. So if I go back to my dailies, all of my dailies, they're basically pointing down. This short-term daily is, though, indicating we are ready for this reversal. So I think today's options expiration may be a good buy. And with that, I'm going to close today and wish everybody a good weekend and a good opportunity to reflect over the weekend, read up on some news sources about what's going on in the market, and don't worry about this Iran war. It will go away. It's just a matter of time. And the market is not crashing. It's not dying. The economy's not dead, even though everybody's running for the hills. This is a great time to buy when everybody's running for the hills. So you do leave some cash in dry powder, but let's look at opportunities. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.